Alright, we got a hydraulic pump we're going to tear into. This is off of Farmall. It's off my dad's Farmall. I've already had it apart to try to get some parts ordered for it. And, this is what you can't find is these seals here. Like right there. I can get this seal. This seal, just some research online and somebody else doing the homework for me and finding it. Cross-referenced over to a SKL 7443. If you need to know the part number on the pump, the model number is 38301-3R94. Supposedly this is maybe a newer model pump, or they just don't offer stuff for it anymore. I stopped the camera a minute so I could get a little rough with it. There it is. And the guy that done this online that I seen, he took and measured everything and mic'd it. And I done that also and come up with the same stuff he did, just to make sure I didn't have a different pump than what he had. But what I'm gonna do is clean all this up. I'll show you driving it back in there. And then I'm gonna try to bring these back to life. Guy said you can take and put them in some hot oil a few times and they should swell back out and kind of reuse them. So I'm gonna try that. Then I'm gonna clean everything up. But I'll show you whenever I start to put it back together. So y'all stay tuned. We'll see how this turns out. All right, I'm gonna dip them in this oil. And all I've done was heated up some oil. From what I've seen, they just kind of dip it through it a few times. gonna finish this up and we'll see how they turn out. I don't really know what this is. It's probably some kind of bypass or what have you, but I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't have anything to replace it with. Can't source any parts, so I'm gonna leave it where it is and not mess with it. These come out pretty good. They kind of returned, I guess you would say. And I remember these were down here against that, so I'm gonna put them right back where they was. And I'm gonna put a little oil on them. And I'll mark this one at the top. So you can kind of tell it lost its shape a little bit, bringing it back to life, which is probably originally what it was. You probably didn't buy it in this shape right here. We'll start to put it back together. We'll put it back down in there a little tighter. Just a little spring in there. I've always put just a little grease down in there beside it to try to hold it in there when you're beating on it. Grease around the lip here. I'm gonna move to a stouter table to bump that seal in. All I'm doing is using some real fine sandpaper, kind of making sure there ain't no burrs or anything on this before I put it back together. Everything looks real good. You can see where it's starting to ride a little, not much, not enough to hurt it. Should seal off good. All right, I've done that off camera. It took a minute and I didn't want to mess it up. You won't have to buy another one. So basically what you do is put it on there and just kind of drive it in the best you can, and be real easy not to bend it and mess it up. Looks good and tight. Start putting it back together. While that's sitting there, it kind of went back in. Taking these out took a little bit, because if you strip them out, it's going to be hard to get it, or if you break them. So I just kept putting some penetrating oil and cleaning it out around it and blowing it out. Eventually they kind of broke loose real pretty easy once I done all that. Alright, put your little moving half key back in. If you all watched online, they had a little washer here that turned up, little lock washer to lock that on. This one didn't have it, so I don't know if it was originally been took apart and it's been lost or what. I'm just gonna put a little thread lock on it. Lock that on down. I'll tell you this, I ain't gonna show it on camera, but you can look up the specs. How tight those need to be and torque them down. Or you can probably do like most people and just tighten it down. Alrighty, this back won't go on but one way. Then what you'll do is put this, once you torque all this down, these two go to the tractor. These two hold the pump together. They kind of sandwich in, and it says this is, I guess that's a date right there, 1272. The tractor's older than that, so this pump's a lot newer. That's it. I'm gonna torque it all down, clean it up. Maybe I'll do another video of putting it on if I get time. If not, my dad will put it on. And we'll see. The problem we was thinking he was having is really wasn't leaking here. Here is this seal right here lets hydraulic oil or 30 weight oil in this case run back into the motor, and it puts too much oil in the motor. So that's really the only seal that we was worried about. And I think this is going to take care of that if I've done it right and didn't mess it up. And then we'll put the O-rings back on here. This kind of tightens up from your reservoir or from your hydraulic gearbox. All right, if y'all have one of these pumps, this is a Wooster, a W-O-O-S-T-E-R pump. Like I said, I have not found anything to rebuild it, as far as these two gaskets in here, two square O-rings. If it wasn't for the searching online, I probably would have been a while to mic all that and figure out what that was, but it's pretty easy once you found a few videos and somebody else had already done it for you. Alrighty, I'm gonna get it all back together. If y'all have a Farmall and need a hydraulic pump built, this is how you get to go about doing it. It's pretty easy. Just take your time and move through it real slow. Alrighty, appreciate y'all watching.